Today, our webinar topic is evidence-based reading strategies for supporting the reading development of EFL students in summer. Because we're always worried that our students are going to lose a lot of their proficiency. So Dr. Shu-hua Wu and Dr. Sulaiman Alrabah are here today to tell us how we can support our students. Dr. Shu-hua Wu is an associate professor, and Dr. Sulaiman Alrabah is also a professor at the Language Center of the Public Authority for Applied Education and Training, or PATE, here in Kuwait. They both got their PhDs in TESOL from the Ohio State University in the United States. Their research interests include language teaching methods, teacher education, second language acquisition, technology and language education, learning styles, multiple intelligences, L2 reading research, L2 writing research, and curriculum. We're so happy to have you here. And now going to add them, and you may start.
Thanks for having us on this very nice day. And welcome to our webinar. It will be about evidence-based reading strategies, which means that it's backed up by research finding. And the evidence is supporting the reading development of EFL students during summer break. We'll try to zoom down on summer, but it will be like general for EFL students. Now we're setting the problem here. We'll go into the content.
We need to see the, excuse me, I need to be able to share the screen first. I don't know whether.
Yeah.
Just a second. Doesn't allow me to share the screen. Right? We need to share the screen about the PowerPoints. Hello?
Yeah. PowerPoint somewhere.
Yeah, please.
Is it shared? I don't think it's shared. No. Is it okay for us to share?
Yeah.
Share a screen.
Yeah. Sure, you can share.
You can share. Is it share now? Yes, I did. Okay.
Put on the.
Okay, no,
I can't see. There's nothing.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yes.
That's
okay. Let me be able to pull this down. Okay, Paula, can you start?
Okay, so this is the intro. We are trying to get this uploaded, and now it's nice all over the screen. Thanks very much. So move to the next one so I can tell the audience. The contents of our presentation will be in 4 parts. I'll divide it in 4 parts. First, we'll review the current knowledge base on L2 reading. And then we seem to have a problem, so we'll tackle that problem, talk about it. And then the evidence-based reading strategies will be like an intervention to solve some of the problem over the summer vacation. And all of it is evidence-based. So implications for summer reading will come next. Okay, that's it. Move on. I will review the current knowledge base of L2 reading. We'll see first advantages of reading. What is it that when people learn how to read, what does it contribute to their knowledge? And then we'll talk about reading techniques and approaches to reading. Yeah, okay. So one of the advantages of reading will be on vocabulary.
Yes, I will go ahead. Why reading is good for vocabulary? Because reading can provide a contextualized vocabulary learning experience for our students. According to research, if the vocabulary items are presented in context, students will acquire the vocabulary items more effectively and easily for them.
Better
And given the
word
vocabulary
list.
list, yes. Second, reading is also good for grammar development, and as well as the third one, writing, because students get a chance to see how the good sentence structures is formed in the reading test, and then they will be able to actually see a lot of discourse features, and then see how the ideas are put through the cohesive devices. And so this is actually will be good for their grammar development and also the writing as well. And reading is very good for communications, because through readings, you'll be getting a lot of information from different varieties. From varieties of topics. This actually will enrich the information exchange when you try to have a conversation with others. And the last one, of course, this is not the last one. It's one of the important one is reading is also good for critical thinking skills development, because they your students will have to use higher order thinking skills to analyze, to evaluate the reading text, and then they have to determine if it is a valid argument they can support or against. Okay, so these are the advantages of reading. Now we will go to the next one. Okay, it's regarding the L2 reading techniques. We want Dr. Sulaiman to tell us more about how reading has been taught in the L2 classroom.
Yeah.
What is the conventional wisdom?
The traditional way of or approaches to teaching reading were always try to read at the word level. So lots of research have emphasized word recognition skills, like decoding the meaning of words, and give you a string of similar looking words, but then they needed to identify the correct word. And then there was focus on phonemic awareness, phonics teaching, which also contributes to sound symbol correspondence, so the sound respond to that word, and also graphic map. So this is at the word level. So the reading instruction was about teaching words, essentially. Then the number two was also to activate schema, like looking into students' background knowledge, linking the reading text with the students' world knowledge and their experiences, daily experiences, so they can feel familiar with the reading text. Again, something big happened was like trying to skim for the main idea and scan for the small details. So the approach was trying to find the one of the questions is always, what's the main idea of this piece of reading? And then asking the detailed questions about the information within the text. Then there was a lot of focus on guessing meaning from context, so include contextual guessing or context modification, or the use of context clues. Also, there was a lot of teaching regarding inferencing, which is very similar to guessing meaning from context, but then you sort of read between the lines. You conclude something that is not on the text per se. So you draw conclusions on the reading passage. And then there was a lot of also how are L2 students taught reading? There are two schools of thought.
Thank you. We classify these two types of the reading according to the research, and also according to what have been documented in the literature. The first type is what we have in the classroom setting, which is called intensive reading. And then the second type is called extensive reading. Most of the time, the students can have extensive reading outside the classroom. So we look at from the point of view of the purpose of the intensive reading. The first one will see that the focus will be on the accuracies of comprehension. In other words, comprehension is the main target of the intensive reading program. For example, the reading materials usually decided by the teachers based on the school curriculum, and then the focal point will be on on developing reading skills, vocabulary, and grammatical knowledge. So it's pretty much language-based focus. And then what we have in the materials basically are textbooks or supplementary materials. The evaluation methods will focus on the reading comprehension test.
So this is basically in the classroom.
In the classroom, yes. And then the other part is called for extensive reading. The purpose of the program is try to provide the students with casual reading for fun, reading for pleasure. Okay, this is to help the student to get the general ideas on a particular topic. Okay, then the reading material is selected by individuals because we want to increase the students' interest in reading. The target for this type of extensive reading is try to develop students' reading fluency. Okay, and then this is text-based, of course, because students will be able to, student will be able to, focus on text based, all right? The materials will include, of course, outside the main textbooks, anything that related to novels, short stories, newspaper, magazines, or non-fiction books will be all, welcomed by the students. And then the evaluation method will not be on the reading comprehension test. Instead, probably we will encourage students to do the reading files or reading portfolios or storytelling, even reading aloud activity, for example. Okay, now we'll move to the second part.
So this situation was like this, teaching was going on of reading, but then there came an event that crystallized this. Now people are talking about learning loss. Also, COVID-19 has somehow emphasized or highlighted this problem. So people are saying, over summer now we need to activate the students' reading ability more. So that also you add to this the demand of high English students, Scholastic Aptitude Test, and TOEFL and so. So this is the problem.
Okay. So we would look at the problem we face in practice. The first part is there is a high demand in English reading skills, either in proficiency test or in students' academic achievement. On the first part, I would like to highlight reading skills is actually English reading skills are very, very important in the proficiency test. For example, like SAT, this, for the entrance exam, this is for the entrance exam. If you want to try to apply for bachelor's degree in USA, and then we have IELTS and TOEFL if you are interested in applying for graduate school, for example. I will make an example for SAT. There will be 5 reading passages with 52 questions, but each passage your students are required to finish within 13 minutes. Okay, so it's quite demanding. You do need to have a good reading skills to be able to cope with the the requirements. And second part is in the PISA. PISA is a program for international student assessment. It's an international comparison test. They try to assess the effective reading strategies, and they call for a direct, what we say, explicit instructions for reading skills. Okay, reading strategies. Okay, to improve their reading comprehension skills. And they have done the studies every 3 years when they try to make a test. They do show that the countries who try to, implement the countries, actually that implements the reading strategies have a great improvement in their reading performance. This was done by in 2018 studies. And the second part I would like to highlight, the English reading skills are very crucial for academic achievement. There's always a strong correlation between academic English reading skills and academic success. This was done in 2020 studies. And then we have in 2023, this year, they found out the academic reading skills can be a strong predictor of college readiness. And further, they found out the vocabulary reading skills and metacognitive reading strategies are highly correlated with GPA in the at least 3 semesters at college. So these two research trying to tell us the importance of reading skills in their entrance to the college and also the overall academic performance. However, there's a province.
However, worldwide, what happened was there were reports of reading loss. In other words, students like fourth year, second year school in Kuwait, which is like high school, can be at the same level of a middle school student. So there is a 4 to 5 year loss according to them. So also this was not sent just like this, but research was done in the United States of America on 2 levels. There was a study about among second and third graders that were found to be roughly 30% behind what would be expected in a typical year during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, some college students, another level in the US, have not crossed the threshold of foundational reading skills associated with word, sentence, and discourse level processing. So as a result, they were assigned to developmental literacy programs in their college. This learning loss also was reported in Kuwaiti schools, and the Kuwaiti educational system knows exactly that this problem does exist. As a solution or as an intervention, we are trying to propose here that students don't stop their reading during summer. They don't take the summer off. They need to have some contact which they can keep up and maintain their ability in reading. So providing summertime academic intervention, specifically in reading, has been proposed for mitigating summer loss for learning. Washburn et al. Argued that a summer literacy intervention designed to address both foundational and disciplinary literacy skills may improve reading-related outcomes for students from economically and culturally diverse backgrounds. So this applies to all. Next slide.
Now we will look at the PISA report. Again, I would like to highlight the concept reading engagement here. Here, as we have seen, as we have seen from the yes, no, sorry, I just jumped. Okay, in this this figure, you can see that on your right hand side, the scores are higher when students are put into the high reading engagement context. In other words, they have more time. They will spend more time in reading, as opposed to, regardless their different social economic status, as opposed to the other two. Second one in the middle is in the median reading engagement context, and then the first one is in the low engagement context. You can see that the students, who are in the reading, the high reading engagement context perform, they will have a higher reading scores as opposed to the other two.
So regardless of socioeconomic status, when you have higher engagement, you can
determine.
Excuse me a moment.
Yes.
Dr. Wu, we can hear you, but when Dr. Alrabah talks, we can't hear him very clearly.
Okay.
He needs to be closer to the microphone.
Move
All right.
closer.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Okay, I will highlight this again. This is what we say, the reading engagement becomes a very crucial concept of the terms that we say that it would determine reading literacy performance. And so according to this chart, we see that students who are in high reading engagement context, in which they spend more time in reading, okay, they will have much higher reading scores. Regardless, they have different socioeconomic status. I'm sorry, because this one cover, I try to remove that. It doesn't show. So you put on top will help. Yes, here they have different. Each different colors represent different socioeconomic status. So in other words, even you are in the low socioeconomic background, you still can score higher than the high in socioeconomic background, even if you are in a high in reading engagement. So this tells us a lot about that we need to continue to spend more time in reading. So in order to have a better results performance. Okay. So here next.
Yeah. So now we try to propose some solutions through evidence-based L2 learning strategies. Effective L2 learning instruction includes reading strategy training. So we'll have three types of interventions or strategies. First of all, metacognitive reading strategies. Second, we'll have text structure strategy. And then the third one is reading progress in MS-Team. So Dr. Wu will start with the effective L2 reading instruction.
There's a synthesis paper by Bunch, Walkie, and Pearson, 2014 TESOL Quarterly, in which they try to summarize what the research findings on L2 reading instructions, and at the end they try to suggest some of the possible. Second.
Excuse me.
Okay, this one.
Could you make sure that you are sharing your screen, please?
It's not sharing. Okay.
It's sharing.
Mhm.
We can see it.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So the first one is activating the background knowledge. Actually, this can help us to, to make direct connections between the background knowledge and the text itself. And second point they mentioned that's interesting. It's we need to pay attention to text structures. Text structures, this is what we explained that also, so to have detailed discussion about that. So students who recognize how text informations are structures are likely to comprehend better, or they can recall more information of the text. And this third part that they suggest is the use of metacognitive strategy in their L2 instruction. And here they also call for the explicit, is a direct metacognitive strategies instruction for L2 adult readers, because they believe that they can have a noticeable comprehension improvement. The last part, which is hiding here, this one is called the use of scaffolding. Scaffolding will become a very important pedagogical tool in our L2 instructions. Here, I try to put three main parts, that we would like to incorporate in our evidence-based reading strategies. In addition to the conventional wisdoms that we know that readings involve the top-down and bottom-up processing strategies, we would like to draw your attentions on these three recent developments in our TESOL field. The first one is text-based structure strategies. The second one is, you can see that's the use of metacognitive strategies. The third one we would like to highlight here is the importance of oral reading fluency. Okay, but with the use of reading progress in MS Teams. Okay, now here, Dr. Sulaiman will help us to understand more about these three.
So what are these? When we talk about metacognitive awareness of reading strategies, need to focus on the word awareness. In other words, these strategies are available to every reader, and lots of readers do apply them. However, when you highlight these strategies to the learner, to the student, some of them say, yes, I do that, and some say they don't. So they need training on using all the strategies, or most of them, so they can get comprehension from the text. So these strategies consciously employed by learners when they are made aware of, to plan, monitor, and assess their own reading progress process in self-regulated ways. It's very crucial that learners have an interaction with the text. They need to know where they reach. They need to check their understanding, then they need to go on and seek help. Okay, so the other strategy we talked about mainly is text structure strategy, which is how to approach text in a strategic manner, like which type of text. Is this compare and contrast? Is this sequencing test? There are key words in these features, in these different types of text that highlighted by research. So the third one is reading progress, which is an educational tool we really found out when we were using MS Teams, that you can do reading progress, you can have the folding from the computer itself. It gives you a reading coach, it monitors your reading, and you can utilize it with students reading by themselves alone at home. Okay. So let's start with the first one, metacognitive reading strategies. We looked at an instrument that has been distributed for checking the students' awareness of metacognitive reading strategies. So they were classified into three types: global strategies, problem-solving strategies, and support strategies. Global strategies include, for the student, planning, monitoring, and evaluating what one has read. Okay, I need to plan, maybe can give a quick read and then monitor my understanding, and then I evaluate what have I done. So you see the KWL chart at the bottom, what I know from the text and what I want to know, and then what I learned, what I have learned. So this is important for the problem solving strategy. So when you confront a problem in the text, you just try to, when the text becomes difficult to read, you employ problem-solving strategies. Support strategies signify the use of outside reference materials, such as looking up unknown words. Now we have applied this instrument questionnaire to our students in a study that was published in 2019. And then we found that if you see the highlighted area there, these are the areas that the students were not aware of using. So having a purpose in mind when reading, they say, yes, I have. But then previewing the text before reading, many of them said, I don't preview the text. Checking to see if the content of the text fits my purpose for reading, they do. But the subsequent one, using typographical aids like boldface and italic to pick out key information, they don't apply. Critically analyzing and evaluating the information read, they say, I don't. So this is our finding. You see a lot of gaps in applying or awareness of these strategies. Problem solving is a pre-reading to help ensure I understand what I'm reading. They do. And then getting back on track when getting distracted is important, because the attention span can be important here. You forget what you read like 2 sentences ago, then you need to go back and see what happened, what was it about. Adjusting my reading pace or speed based on what I'm reading, yes, because if the text is challenging, I need to slow down. Stopping from time to time to think about what I'm reading, they didn't do a lot. Guessing the meaning of unknown words or phrases, they prefer to use dictionary, not guess. In support strategy, you see the support strategy taking notes while reading. They don't jot down any notes. You see their books are clean. Reading aloud to help me understand what I'm reading. They don't do that. Discussing what I read with others to check my understanding. No. Underlining or circling important information text. They should be using, but they don't use it a lot. Using reference materials such as dictionaries, yes, they do. So of all the support strategies, they only use one. So that was the result of our college students that we have conducted a study on. And we need to, as teachers, need to teach all these strategies. In fact, they are useful for readers to take a look at the text and think about it, and then try to move beyond that in their understanding.
So the following one I would like to highlight is a text structure strategy.
That's another strategy. Yeah.
And,
Okay.
The text structure strategies basically focus on students actually the close analysis of text because the assumption is as such text information can be organized in a hierarchical structures, or what we say the framework. The frameworks are the text informations are built on. So if we try to teach our students with the knowledge of text structure, TSS strategy, it will be easier for them to approach the text in a strategic manner, and also the information or the discourse information for them, it will be more predictable. Therefore, they will be easily comprehend the test well. According to the research, also the text types include we are all familiar with description, sequence, cause and effect, and compare contrast and problem solving, and the solution. Sorry, and then also you can add argumentative, text, and then you can see the following research finding is if they try to employ text structure strategy, and actually students will have a retain the or what we say the grasp, good grasp of more text information when they are familiar with the text types. And the following types is, according to the research, when we try to employ these strategies, we can start from the easier one, the description, sequence, and gradually move to the cause and effect, compare, contrast, and problem solution. These are
different text types.
Yes.
So you can put them on
in the class.
Blackboard or whiteboard and plot the organization of the text. That's very good.
So now we'll move to the pedagogical principles. Here, something that is also covered. That I would like to highlight the teacher's roles. Yeah, teacher's role here. First, we traditionally speaking, we always think reading is very passive, type of a learning. But here, gradually see that metacognitive strategies and also TSS text structure strategies. Here, we would like to encourage teachers to make some efforts to have more explicit instruction in class. We try to help the students to identify the text structures. Through number one is guided questions. Asking guided questions can highlight the text pictures for the learners to be able to identify. And then we need to highlight the important use of signaling words. Okay, and also use a graphic organizer. Okay, and then the graphic organizers, and then teacher-led class discussion, and then we can use it rubrics to evaluate see how much they have analyzed the test in the graphic organizer. Here's the graphic organizer here, you have different types like this fish. I think there's phone
Right,
problem. That's everyone. And then there's a compare contrast. We use a
Excuse me,
diagram.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Wu. Some people need to mute their microphones, please. There's a lot of interference. Please mute your microphone. This is people who have just, all they've done is come, they're not really wanting to participate. They simply want a certificate.
And then you will have the last one sequence. Here, we would like to highlight the learners are, students are encouraged to use higher thinking skills like analysis or evaluation in the process, try have a close analysis of text we structure. By the way, we should do that. We should develop one text structure at a time, not all the structures together at one time. Now here, we like to highlight the importance of scaffolding and the cooperative learning. The text, the group activities should be encouraged. We need to encourage cooperative learning among the students, and also we want to encourage our colleagues. I mean, our you know, the member professionals. I mean, to follow certain type of formats and routines in class. So every time when we approach a reading text, we do the text structures. So it becomes easier for the students to follow and so on. Okay. Now we move to the next example, a very simple example. I won't take so much time. Like for example, a paragraph as such, then the first the teachers may need to ask guiding questions. For example, the content, I mean, their background knowledge, are they familiar with this, the mumps influenza? I use the medical text as an example. And then second, you need to highlight the, ask the students to find the signaling words, for example, like similar and different very quickly. They might figure out this is compare contrast. And then subsequently, we want them to be able to identify this first, second, finally by contrast, signaling, transitional signal words. And therefore, they follow the first, second, and third. They can write down the basis for comparison, like incubations and period, and then the enlargement issues and symptoms and so on. Then we can have a.
So this is a T chart.
Yeah, this is a chart. The students can, I mean, actually have a group work and then try to cooperate to complete the test. And then you can as well, you know, you can use diagram, a Venn diagram to this kind of text as well. So here, the following one, that is a reading program.
After metacognitive reading strategy and text structure strategy, now we come to the third strategy, which is reading progress in MST. It's a free tool built into Microsoft Teams designed to support and track reading fluency in your class through independent reading practice. Like students can do it alone at home, which is very significant because students don't like to be reading in class, and you know, they feel spotlighted and embarrassed, especially the ones that we do read. We do need to help the ones who are not very fluent. So educators can upload a single reading passage as a team's assignment, and then students read the text out loud at home, creating an audio or video. They can choose audio and video or not, no video recording, that the provided reading coach can play back for them. This is AI for self-monitoring and correction. So they give you, like, you made how many mistakes. You need to read this in a more correct, standard way. So the creating recordings allows educators to check students' progress more regularly, while also freeing up time for active instruction. So this is a wonderful app. We like it. We applied it in our classes, and very good.
Yes. And then following one, I would like to address the important concept of oral reading fluency. According to research, and it is highly correlated with reading comprehension. As the statistics shows here, I mean, you can see that as 0.91. most of the time we focus on reading comprehension only in the L2 context. We forget the importance of oral reading fluency, in which students need to develop in conjunction with the reading comprehension. So here I would like to share with all our colleagues here that in L2 context, we do need to address the issues of oral reading fluency. Now, yes, we need to have higher oral reading fluency. So through the use of MS Teams, of course, it depends on the availability of the programs, but I'm sure there must be other programs that you can, assess the students oral reading fluency. How to find that? Now, in your Teams, Microsoft Teams, and you can see that, in the assignment section. Yes, in assignment section, when you make some attachment, under the attachment, there's a reading progress here in which
So
you
pull
are
down
allowed.
menu, and then the one before last is
Exactly.
the reading part.
Yes.
Very good.
And then you are able to choose text provided by them, or you can use your own text. And on the right-hand side corner, you can set up the parameters in terms of how you want the program to assess for you. Okay, and then when the students finish recording, reading the text, and then send it back, and you can see that through the artificial intelligence, the students can get the different results. You see the colors in different colors.
So there are
here.
two
Yeah,
codes,
important.
right?
Yeah, we want to highlight these parts. First one is the correct words per minute. The other one is accuracy rate.
Yeah.
Okay, so now these two will give us some indications about students' oral proficiency levels. And the interesting part of these programs is they have this reading coach, set up. Here they have native speakers of English. They try to
choose.
yes, they
arrange
choose
it, right?
for that. Yes, and then they will point out actually the program will point out 5 the most common frequently make mistakes by these particular students, and then they try to have further practice for the learner until they reach the satisfactory results, and this is the results on the left-hand side corner. So here, I would like to because we have done this presentation in the last TESOL conference. I would like to share with all our colleagues here, and very soon we'll have, actually Microsoft company. They will have these 2 other parts. I think is a very good addition, new additions here. The first one is reading comprehension questions. They'll be added to our reading progress, and then you can see that this is what I have found from the internet. And then the second part is a prosody, the intonation, the pauses of the expression, the pitch, and so on. So this will be also identified, inshallah, with emphasis on this. These are 2 new features that will be added on very soon. Okay, now here, implication parts for summary reading. We will have the quick summary, and then we'll talk about our implications, and then we would like to share with everyone some reading programs in Kuwait. Now, summary here. I hope that with all our efforts and everyone
sum up all.
Yeah. First, we hope that we can we encourage each other, and then try to integrate the metacognitive strategies, text structure strategies, and or reading fluency progress into L2 reading instruction. Second part, we hope we can raise students' awareness of metacognitive reading strategies, either global problem solving and support strategies. And we try to encourage them to maximize the use of the strategies in L2 reading instruction. And then third, as we definitely we hope that we can use more about the text structure strategies in L2 readings, because this will improve their reading comprehension, and they will have a better understanding of textual organization. Okay, now number 4, it's we do need to make an effort to enhance oral reading fluency among our students, especially over time. And because through the help of the reading progress, we hope we can reach that because they can give immediate feedback right away. Number 5, that's something that we like to encourage each other, and then also with our colleagues here, we need to balance intensive and extensive reading and L2 reading instruction. Most of the time, we focus. I'll be honest with Dr. Sulaiman, we focus more on intensive, reading in the classroom setting. But we do need at time for students to to be exposed more reading materials so that they will be able to enhance their language development. And we also want to promote the concept of reading engagement in summer reading clubs. In any forms, that's fine, the programs or even the assignment to further facilitate L2 reading development. Now, the following one, we will try to see some implications. Both of us try to come out with ideas about a digital
In a typical,
digital summer reading club.
yeah, if you have a digital summer reading club, which is very feasible now, best tips you can have is, first of all, you need to set goals for your reader. For example, connect to the curriculum, devise a reading calendar. For example, how about 10 pages a day from each student, or according to their level? Then you adjust from there. You can design a website, find digital resources and free ebook. You can have fiction and non-fiction resources and give them freedom of choice, include audiobook. Also, in terms of personalized learning, first of all, you use mobile phone because it's all they do all the time to gain access to digital books. This is very important. Tap into intrinsic motivation. Their own internal motivation needs to be encouraged by offering them freedom of choice in books. Don't impose certain books on them, like, for example, I love Moby Dick, but it's quite a read. But then I cannot just impose it on students and then say, okay, you can have free choice. If you want Moby Dick, go ahead, go for it. But if you want Huckleberry Finn or some other work, that's okay, no problem. So that will increase their intrinsic motivation because they chose it. Create a reader profile. Each reader needs to show how many novels, books they have read in the digital space, like kind of a reading CV. Very good. And then increase reading engagement by asking them extensive reading, like reading outside the curriculum. Practice annotation to highlight interesting points in reading. You can tell them, okay, when we like a point, you can say, okay, I think I read this somewhere else. So I jot down some information on the margin. And increase communication among readers. When they see something, when they reach, for example, if they're reading the same book, they can discuss with each other what they found. And then add emojis. Kids love emojis. So, when you are interacting with them, you say, okay, great job, or thank God, something like this. Then encourage participation in read aloud activities because they are linked to reading oral fluency.
As for the strategy training in the summer reading, we would like to highlight, as we proposed in this webinar. First is metacognitive reading strategies. For example, take notes, right? Or make summaries. And the second one is text structure strategy. So maybe regularly the students will be able to at least one time to be able to analyze the text according to some type of graphic organizer. And the third one, we would like to encourage them to have some kinds of event like reading aloud to increase their overall reading fluency. Okay, the support and activity, the last part. It's very important in the summer reading because to have a regular monitoring the progress, because it's not a regular class, and we do want them to have this autonomy to regulate their reading habits, and we want to provide positive feedbacks on their reading achievement. This is our the goal of summer reading program, and we would like to schedule a book discussion once in a while. So keep contact with our students, and then create a fun event. All right, this should be fun. All right, now for students to read aloud or showcase their reading files or e-portfolio. Okay, and then the following one, I would like to. This is what I have found on the internet, but I'm sure we have more in Kuwait. But I'm really proud of the colleagues in these schools. Okay, now first of all, it's from the organization National Council of Culture, Arts and Letters, NCCAL. In 2022, they have a children's summer week to focus on reading in Arabic language. And the remaining one, American International University, they have summer reading program. I got interesting. Yes, these are in Kuwait in 2022. And American United Schools of Kuwait, 2016 until now, that I have found out in the internet. Found, yes, and the level from pre-K to all the way, I mean, to the 10th grades, they have the very systematic way to encourage students to read in summer. And then the last one, I hope it's not the last one, okay. In the American Baccalaureate School, in 2017, their handbook, they mentioned about 6th grade to 12th grade, they have summer reading assignment, which is also very important for us. And then this is what we have found from the research and the practice. Then the remaining one, I will give to Dr. Sulaiman.
Now, with this, we close. Thank you very much for your patience and for listening to our proposed 3 strategies for improving reading skills with students during summer. And just one note that the summer course can be online because of the weather, it's very hot, and then the lack of venue to meet with the students. So it can be all with the students' phone and interact with them. And God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wu, Dr. Alrabah. There are questions, but before I start reading the questions, please remember each of these webinars is recorded and within about 2 hours will be available under TESOL Kuwait's YouTube channel. Also, they are available and in TESOL Kuwait's homepage. You simply click on webinars, and then you'll find the little ad there, and you will be able to see. Okay, I'm trying to look and see if I have it here. I'm not showing it. But anyway, they are available for you to watch. The other thing is, Dr. Wu and Dr. Alrabah, participants have asked, will you be willing to share your PowerPoint slides?
I think this is a very interesting comment because yes, very embarrassing.
We can, you have it all if it's on YouTube.
I know. All I'm doing is I am repeating their question. So they should be watching the YouTube channel. Okay. Let's go to the questions, Finn, please, if I can find where I put them. I had them open. Okay. How can I introduce new vocabulary before students start reading?
Yeah, I need to put it in context and put it in simple sentences, like let's say the cat chased the mouse, or like the boy played ball with his dad, and then you highlight the word. You can you have color coding. For example, the new word is in red, and the other word, of course, they know boy and father, but they don't know ball, for example. So this is one way of introducing new vocabulary to kids. It has to be in context. You cannot give them wordless. Thank you.
Yes, I think the vocabulary can be divided into visit college level. We have a general English, but we also have English for specific purposes. And for example, like medical English in your college is business English. So you
But for
need to,
kids,
yes, for kids, of course. Yes, but for adults, maybe you do need to introduce certain type of rules, like prefix, suffix, and help the learners to be able to predict the meaning, yes, of the vocabulary in order to proceed.
Okay, the next question. So the reading progress tool would be publicly shared or only the teacher can hear his or her students?
yeah, this is a very good question.
Yes.
Dr. Wu?
Yes. Because it's a personalized learning, yes, the answer for you is yes. But we need to think about the context, because in regular intensive reading program that we have, that we
shared or
it's not
just
public shared.
for the
Yes.
student?
It's not
publicly
public shared.
okay, just for the
For the
students and
students.
teachers.
Mhm.
together.
Yeah, but the point is, the students are not able to, like we say, individually, they can have the chance, the opportunity to read aloud, because then there's no class time.
Mm.
So reading progress actually can maximize the opportunities for students to practice, reading aloud. This is our point, that it actually they do need have more opportunities
So
to do that.
it's like an intact class experience. I mean, you share with your own classmates and with your teacher. That's not publicly shared, not
Yes.
available. That's a good question.
Okay. Our next question, these statistics of oral reading aloud are based on which sample of students, please?
Oh, yes, that's good questions, because reading our reading fluency, as I shared this our previous presentation in TESOL conference. I said this is from the first language literacy based program. So I do share with that most of the studies was done for the American students. I mean, when they learn their first language. So yes, yes, as a native speakers of English, yes. But they do have. That's why we call for more research and more practice in our field, so that in the future, inshallah, we will have the findings that based on the our L2 context.
I think it makes sense when you read aloud, you comprehend text better. It's just commonsensical. And then they have been doing this research in the L1 setting, like for American native speakers. And why not do it for EFL learners?
On the contrary, we need more, because we're in the L2 setting. Our students, I mean, the contact for the English language actually is much less than when the students are in their first language. So the need for oral reading fluency actually is even more.
I think the idea is to go beyond what is being practiced now. Try to see new pathways, apply new strategies, try to upgrade the students' level, and of course, upgrade the teaching level.
Like, for example, that text structure strategy has been widely used in the U.S. school system, actually, so that there is also the need for us, trying to help our students to develop this strategy to help them to be a better reader, and especially when they reach the college level.
Any more questions?
Yes, there are. Just a minute. Let me make this not quite so big so that I can see what the next question is.
God bless you.
Okay. Is
Any
the tool
question
on
you need help?
Microsoft and is it free? Is the tool on Microsoft and is it free?
Reading progress
Yes,
is
I'm
free.
sure that's
It's
what they meant.
in the
MS
Teams, MS Teams, in the assignment section. So most
Okay.
of the yes.
We have another presentation on YouTube by TESOL that was published like 3 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, and then they can get more idea about
Reading progress.
Yes, and Fatma Hussein shared the link although it's
Thank you.
easy to Google TESOL Kuwait YouTube channel. Uh, Any idea if Zoom or other similar apps have this feature?
You mean if it's just for MS Teams or can be shared? I'm sure they would be available, but this is the one we stumbled on really, because we're trying to explore MS Teams, not just do it as an online classroom, but see what's available. So this is great news, but I'm sure maybe other programs have it in other ways, but I don't know.
Okay, and our last question, most tasks in reading are done and concentrated silent reading. How can we improve read aloud among students?
Good question.
This is because this is going back to intensive reading. There is no intensive reading. So in the classroom, always intensive. And then so that you don't embarrass students, you don't ask them to read aloud and highlight and spotlight them. And maybe they get to stutter or, they feel very overwhelmed or very self-conscious. So the issue now, technology is offering us a solution where students can do it in the privacy of their own home or from their own phone. They can just do the reading progress. And this is a very good tool because it gives them feedback. It gives them correction. They have a coach with them working. AI, that this word is okay and this word is not okay. You can say it back and then give them several attempts. How many people?
Yeah.
Some students took about more than 20 attempts. And then they said, okay, adopt this one. I like it. So it's up to the student.
And I would like to highlight this. The reading comprehension is a very important part for us to assess our students whether they can get information from the reading test. However, as we know, we are in the L2 context, and as we have found that in the literatures, in the research finding, there are multiple factors that can contribute, or at least to help the developments of reading ability. So we hope that from different angles, either from the metacognitive strategies, text structure strategy, or increase oral reading fluency, on 3 different angles, we try to tackle the issue to increase the, as you said, the silent reading, the overall reading comprehension. This is our purpose.
Thanks for the question. They are great questions. Really appreciate it.
Okay, I want to thank Dr. Wu and Dr. Rabah. I was just fascinated when they presented at TESOL Kuwait, and I knew that they had more to share, and they have. It has been a wonderful presentation. And guys, the video should be posted on TESOL Kuwait's YouTube channel in a couple of hours. As for your certificates, you had to be present for at least 45 minutes. And Zoom records and adds the minutes. So you should receive your attendance certificate by tomorrow. A machine, this is not automated. The automation is me, and it takes me a while to get these out. So please be patient.
There's lots of pressure.
Yes. And again, thank you, Dr. Wu, Dr. Rabah. I want to invite everyone to join us for our July webinar, which will be on the 2nd Saturday, July the 8th. And it is with Sandra Story, who is the English language, let's see, what do they call it? The English language officer with the U.S. State Department. And she will be talking about teacher well-being, connecting, and recharging, which I think all of us need when it's that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Again,
Thanks a lot.
thank you
Appreciate it.
very
having us.
much. Appreciate it. Goodbye. Hope to see you all in July.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Nice meeting.
Recording.
Thank you.